Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Stand By Face podcast. I'm Aaron, and with me, as always, is my co-host.
Ahoy, Jared.
So today is Thursday, January 27th of the year 2022, and the ban list has finally dropped. We wanted to do a reaction video, but we did not have the time to get out those fast videos like everyone else does, so we're just going to do an earlier emergency ban list episode of the podcast.
Yeah, we wanted to do more of an actual discussion instead of just like there are overhyped, first reaction type videos that everybody does.
We bring you serious discussions.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys prefer, I can make the shock face of and put a thumbnail up, but I think that's pretty much a dime a dozen in the Yu-Gi-Oh world. And secondly, I don't appreciate these random ban lists because we all had plans today, and now we had to cancel them all and then come in and so whoever was running the scheduling for Konami, I'd like to have that conversation with them. Like this no sooner than bullcrap. What was this day 10 of no sooner than?
True,
whatever.
But okay, but to clarify, no sooner than just means we won't get it before. They say nothing about getting it later. And if you notice at the top, it says next update will be in a few months.
Yeah, well,
they do that to cover their ass now.
Yeah, I get it, but there's nothing wrong with calling up your Twitter department, whoever's running your social media, be like, hey, send out a tweet. We're going to have to delay the ban list till next week. Nobody's going to care, Well, as long as you communicate, the Yu-Gi tubers will defend you, and nobody's going to care. Just
I'm wondering why it took them this long, because I understand that you had the YCS or the remote duel, and then you had the top 16 from the one in December. They had to finish off and all that.
Yeah.
But did they just need a few extra days? Because I think most of everyone was expecting it Monday.
Well, that's what we're here to find out. So by this end of this discussion, we'll
maybe we'll solve the puzzle.
Yeah, as to what happened here.
So let's get into the actual ban list, what we saw, and what are our opinions about it. Jared, go ahead and kick us off, man.
First on the list is Arch Nemesis Protos.
Everyone was screaming for this.
I remember when we bought this card, you and I, a long time ago when it first came out, and then we never used it since. No. This one had.
Because I was not about to spend money on Sword Soul Tenyi and use it there like everyone else is. Like I can't put that amount of money into a deck right now. So
yeah, well, this one fit the bill of. It checked all of the boxes of needing to be banned. It was a card being used in a deck not of its own archetype. It was a floodgate. It was searchable by that archetype, which is usually the killer, is if it's able to be searched and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't think anybody's shocked. Everybody was calling for it. I don't even think anybody wanted it not to be banned.
Yeah. So I don't know too much about Sword Soul, but I have heard a lot of people say like this brings it from like tier 0 meta changing deck to more of a really good tier 1, where it's like it's a solid deck. It's still going to beat everyone out, but it's not going to be crushing it as hard.
Yeah, it's still the best deck in my mind. Well, it's still one of the top 2 decks in my mind. They're not losing any consistency whatsoever. So it turns their 4 or 5 interruption board with a floodgate into a non-floodgated 4 or 5 interruption board.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, plus they've got a new extra deck monster coming out in Battle of Chaos. So I think it's Battle of Chaos. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but anyways, like they're not going anywhere for a while, and they're gonna be just as good as they are. So
yeah, and unless Konami decides to go ahead and ban it in Master Duel, whenever Sword Soul gets into the game, y'all have that deck again.
Yeah, they ain't banning it in Master Duel. I don't think they've got all those other boss monsters. True King of all calamities is far worse than Protos, so it's not going anywhere.
So moving on down the list, Jared's a little salty about this next one.
Yeah, look how they massacred my boy. Trytron. Every time I invest in a deck, they just ban it, or they ban something out of it,
Yeah.
And Eva, I haven't really decided. I've been looking like all evening of what I'm gonna do now that Eva's banned. So I'm pretty sure Ultimate this build that's gone. So I'm looking into Megalith packages. I'm looking into going second versions of it without Megalith, just doing basically everything the exact same except for no Ultimateness, no Eva, and I'm running like extra going second type cards. You know what I mean? Nibiru, Dark Ruler no more, and that just main deck that stuff instead now. So I don't know. I haven't really tested it. I don't want to get too much into detail on that, but
of course you still have a DPE Scythe combo you can always run.
Oh yeah, I was gonna add that in later. So yeah, I'm still gonna lock you out of your extra deck. So Drytron's not gonna go away either. The difference is now instead of it being a tier 1, it's probably a tier 2 in my mind. At minimum, I would have 2 negates with Ultimateness, the way the build was running. If I had a really good opening hand and I wasn't walking through interruptions, then I might make a 3 to 4 with Ultimateness. But again, that's kind of like the stars have to align to get there. A lot of people were griping about Eva. I don't think it was that bad. I mean, like I said, it's a standard 2 interruption that I got out of Ultimateness, and then I had to rely on DPE or whatever. Yeah. So,
well, and was Eva recurable at all?
Yes, there were ways to cycle it back, but I never did that. To me, it made it. I was not as consistent cycling it back, so I never worried about it really.
So 9 times out of 10, it wasn't worth it.
I don't want to say that. My goal was to end the match before I needed to recycle it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because if it was limited before, if you get I guess that combo is dangerous enough to end the game right there. You don't have to later, but
exactly, yeah. So it is what it is. Honestly, I kind of expected Drytron to be hit in some way. So I was kind of hoping it wasn't Eva, because now, like I said, Ultimateness is just dead now. Nobody's gonna play it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. But you're not the only big deck that got hit.
Yeah, and we've got another deck that I'm going to talk about that I might move to as well.
So moving on down, next up is Smorg,
the Bird of Sovereignty. This one, I actually did not see that coming. I figured they would.
I didn't either.
I figured they were going to hit Barrier Statue, actually. And now that I've looked into it, I'm like, oh yeah, they actually made the right decision, so that one was good. So there were 2 different monsters that the bird decks were using to summon off of Smorg, and Smorg was the instigator. So they made the right choice there. The only thing that I would say is that Tri-Brigade didn't get hit out of this deal. It's more Lyrilisk. And even Floowandereeze were using that too. So I'm a little, not salty. I'm a little jealous because, Drytron is getting their hit and Tri-Brigade's not getting theirs. So
yeah, it's like they both did an indirect hit, but Tri-Brigade's still going to last, whereas Drytron got more of a, it was an indirect hit, but the card basically played like it was part of that archetype.
Yeah, so when Tri-Brigade gets hit by losing Barrage, talking too fast, yeah. The deck just lost a little bit of consistency. The deck didn't lose cards. I'm not only losing Ava, but I'm losing Ultimateness. So I'm having to rethink how I'm going to do the build completely, except for, I'm still going to scythe lock you. So that's going to be my main goal from now on, moving forward. Anything you want to add on Smorg there?
No, we can move on.
Oh, there it is.
Imperial Order has fallen. I'm in a middle camp here because I see why everyone wanted it gone.
Yeah,
it makes sense. I used it in Altergeist and I liked it because it really helped me. It kept me from dying too fast. But I understand why it's a problem, and I've accepted this. I've gone through all 5 stages of grief. We're good to move on.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I didn't use it that much because it hurt me too. If I played it against my opponent and they were still able to break my board, then I was screwed with it. So I was pretty neutral. I don't think it needed to be banned with other cards like skill drain being around and all these other floodgates that are widely available. So it's just, so many people had lost to it that they got to go gripe to Konami and
Yeah.
it needs to be banned. It's a toxic
Well,
card.
Speaking of griping about certain cards, since we're at the bottom of the forbidden list here, let's take a moment to talk about a couple of cards that we wished would have been banned. Because I added another one to my list last night at our locals.
Okay, hit me.
I loved Mystic Mine. Not anymore. F that card.
Oh, yeah.
F that
card. I saw the look on your face when that happened.
No, it's not just that I lost to Mystic Mine. It's that Mystic Mine kept me from doing anything for so long that this dude Exodia'd me. He got all 5 pieces of Exodia and beat me that way. Luckily, game 2, I was able to come out and take him down. And that ended the clock right there. So it was a draw against an Exodia deck.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought you lost that one.
No, that was a draw. And he had no other monsters in his deck other than the 5 pieces of Exodia. It was all like Final Countdown and all these other cards to help him draw and recur from the graveyard.
Dude, I saw that he was protecting Mystic Mine with Field Barrier too.
Yes. Oh my god. And it was the first time I took Earth Machine to locals and I was getting no back row removal.
Yeah,
you're
like 80% monsters in that deck, right? Maybe more than 80%.
Don't get me wrong, he's a nice guy. It was just really pissing me off.
You're not the only one. So
literally the guy sitting next to me is, that's a trash card.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what I was gonna say. I was dueling the guy that was next to you,
and he's playing Sword Soul Tenyi.
No. Oh no, we're talking about a different person. Sorry.
Oh, you're talking about the guy on my other side?
Yeah, the guy that I was doing.
Yeah.
So
wasn't he just doing Galaxy that night?
Yeah, actually. Yeah. And he switched. He got paired up with the Exodia guy next round. and dude, like they were going at it the whole time because he's not.
Was
as
he
nice
doing
as
the same thing?
Yeah. And the guy, I won't say his name, of course, but the guy that I dueled was not as nice as you were to Exodia guy. He was not.
I didn't want to be, but like, I don't know. Like, I was like, you know what? It's whatever. You got Exodia for the first time ever. I didn't think anyone still did that, but it's fine.
Yeah. And for the record, I do think Mystic Mine needs to be at 1, not at 3.
Yeah, no, definitely.
At least
if
1.
It's not 1, ban it.
It's funny you didn't want it banned when you're using it against me.
Well, okay, hold on. Slightly different. You didn't get fucking Exodia'd.
No.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to bleep that.
Nah, you can leave it in raw.
Anyways, 2 more in my mind that should have been banned. Well, no, 1 more in my mind that should have been banned. Scythe.
Yeah.
That needs to go.
I'm actually completely shocked. So I'm not in the camp that thinks that Dagna needs to be banned because Dagna is not the problem.
Yeah.
Dagna, yes, can pull Scythe
Dagna
from the
helps,
deck,
but it's not the problem.
Yeah, but there's a whole bunch of other artifact cards that if somebody was to play an artifact deck casually, of course, without Dagna helps the deck. Dagna is not the toxic one. It's Scythe is the one that has the effect. You know what I mean? So I think Scythe needs to go, and I actually fully expected it to go, and I think a lot of people did. So that is incredibly surprising that Scythe was not banned. So I'm trying to remember when Scythe has been banned before and then came off the list, and now it needs to go back, I guess. But Dagna wasn't around when it was banned before. So when it came off the list, it wasn't until after that they came out with Dagna.
Yeah.
So, and it's just now being used only specifically because DPE can pop the Scythe on the field, you know what I mean? So now it's become a problem.
Yeah.
And it wasn't before.
Well, now we just got to deal with the next few months of Scythe.
Assuming it gets banned on the next one, yeah.
Yeah, that's assuming. Who knows? Is there any other cards you want to mention? Honorable mentions that should have been thrown on the forbidden list?
No. Scythe and Protos were my main 2 that I wanted to see banned.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and go.
We will move on to the limited. What do we got? Astrograph Sorcerer is now limited. It's coming back.
Yeah, that's an older card. I'm not a Pendulum expert, so yeah, I won't too much time talking off it. Just from what I've looked into, it doesn't. Yu-Gi-Oh has power creeped Pendulum quite a bit since this has been banned. So just from what I've looked into, it doesn't seem like it's going to be like a game breaking Pendulum archetype or anything like that with it.
Yeah.
But it's going to help. So we're definitely going to see it. Destrudo being limited now. This one, I can't remember if it was banned right before the Eternal format or right after, but I was using it in Dragon Link back in the day, so I'm kind of excited to see this one. It's not as good as it was before because there's not really a solid way to add it to your hand in Dragon Link either anymore.
I don't know if you can call 2 years ago back in the day, if it was even 2 years ago.
Well, feels like longer than that.
Back in the day, you could call probably like 2010 at this point, since we're 2022. But
Touche.
But anyways,
so yeah, I mean, in non-dragon decks, the only scenario I can see it being used is to kind of turbo out Crystron, Halqifibrax. It does help in Dragon Link, but it's going to be a one of anyways. Nobody would play more than one. Again, it's not going to be game breaking. I would have rather had Striker Dragon come to 2 instead of this guy come back. That's just my opinion.
mm-hmm.
Fairy Tail Snow is bigger. That's going to be used in quite a bit of decks. Actually, I think Thunder Dragon is going to be the biggest beneficiary of it
Mm-hmm.
because they get their effects when they're banished. So I've already seen several updated Thunder Dragon lists. I follow a couple groups of them, and we'll see how things go. Again, I don't think it's going to be game breaking, but I do think that one is more important than the other two so far.
Mm-hmm.
Lunalight Tiger, also banned, I think, during the Eternal format as well. I'm kind of curious to see what's going to happen here. I don't think it's really going to be used in Pendulums at all, but we might see like a Lunalight Tri-Brigade experiment.
Okay.
I don't know if that's going to be any good or not.
I don't know much about this card, so
I'm not real big on the Lunalight stuff either, so but that's just what I've been seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, everybody overreacts and they try new things the day the ban list comes out. So
yeah.
I don't know if anything's going to come of it. We'll find out.
So moving on, Lyrilisk Recital Starling is now limited.
Yeah.
It's another little bit more hurt to the Lyrilisk Tri-Brigade players, but Tri-Brigade still isn't going to go anywhere, so.
Yeah, I think the Tri-Brigades were using the Lyricalist engine to summon Utopic Draco Future, I think is its name.
Oh, so this is more for the bird up.
Well, yeah, the Tri-Brigade Lyricalist builds and bird up. So they're taking a hit. They're not going to go that route anymore. I don't know if they're going to be, like out of the meta now. We'll probably see a lot of people move away from it, but that kind of sucks. That card's not that old, so it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, we kind of talked about Tri-Brigade already. Why Monster Gate?
I don't know.
Nobody has the response to that.
Well,
so
okay,
far.
so these next two, Monster Gate and Pot of Desires, what's the point?
I don't know. I want to send a message to Konami. It's like, show me where on the doll that Monster Gate hurt you. Why is it banned?
Yeah.
No, in all seriousness, like, just by what we've seen in the past from Konami, is they're usually reactive, not proactive. So is this a proactive hit somewhere? Like, did they see something that we, the community, hasn't yet? Because literally nobody has this answer. And I've watched a lot of videos so far.
Mm-hmm.
Pot of Desires, I can kind of see that a little bit more because both Tri-Brigade and Sword Soul were using it.
Okay.
Being the two best decks. They run like 3 of each of everything, so they don't care if something gets banished. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
So to them, it was, it added to both of their consistencies. So I wouldn't have, limited it if it was me. I would have figured out a different way to kind of keep them in check consistency-wise. And the reason why is because Pot of Desires is used in a lot of rogue decks and stuff too. And it's a budget option for a lot of people. So that's why I wouldn't have limited Pot of Desires. But, I mean, Konami's well known for listening to the community, right? So
Okay, so the semi-limited. Malicious is still on there. A Hero Lives was limited, moved to semi-limited.
Yeah.
I don't really know why it's a big deal for it to even be limited in the first place. I don't think it. I mean, yeah, it summons out, but at the cost of, what was it? We just pulled it out for a second. At the cost of half of your life points, you get 1 level 4 or lower if you control no cards. So,
no face-up monsters.
Yeah, no face-up monsters. So,
it's a starter for the engine.
Yeah.
Not an extender. So, yeah, I don't really know why it was banned in the first place. It's been on the ban list for a while.
Yeah,
so.
there must have been some condition going on back when it was first banned that kept it on there. But I have not been in the game long enough to understand why. So it's back. No big deal. Fusion Destiny is now at 2.
Which is very surprising to me as well, with DPE
I'm surprised
being so new.
I'm surprised it only went to 2.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to get limited.
I mean, we wanted it to be limited. I think
a lot of people wanted
it
it banned.
will be. No,
Yeah.
nobody wanted it banned. What you talking about? You crazy.
Well, I think some people did.
I think this is a sign that the next ban list, Fusion Destiny, will be limited to 1. Honestly, there weren't really even many people complaining about it. I know we did, but yeah, I mean, obviously Konami can tell that DPE is going to be everywhere, and it still is. I mean, going to 2 is, it moves from like a 10% less chance or whatever it is. I don't. I was told there'd be no math. But yeah, it's like a 10% less chance of drawing it than if it was at 3 or something like that. So, there's not gonna be much difference, and everybody's gonna rely on Predator Plant anyways. So
yeah,
Nadir serving it.
It just gives you a reason not to buy a third one.
yeah, touche. At what is it, like $20 minimum?
Yeah,
or 25 or something like that.
As you're saying, Nadir Servant is also at 2.
Yeah, we kind of expected that as well. The engine's been around for a while. Just kind of curbs their consistency also. Any deck that's playing Dogmatica is playing freaking Winda anyway, so, and that's the best way that they're getting to it is Nadir Servant. Salaman Great Circle. I kind of wish it was just give it back to 3. It's like,
I think next list it may just come back to 3.
I'm assuming it will too. Salaman Great's not even. It's not even
It's
showing
not
up
a
in
threat.
tournaments. Nobody's
Yeah.
taking it, so
I'm
why
sure
not?
this helps them, but I don't see how much. Like, it's not going to be a big deal.
Konami's really late to the game on some of this stuff. With like Salamander Great. They've let Salad get power crept so much it doesn't matter if it comes back at 3, and Scapegoat's the same way. Like, nobody's playing Scapegoat. It was a problem when Links first became a thing. They could just, like, you're in phase, I'll activate Scapegoat, get 4 monsters, my turn begins, I can automatically link into a Link 4, board load dragon at the time. Obviously, that's not the case now. The game has advanced so far since then. Scapegoat can come back to 3 today, and it would not make a difference. It's not going to see play. So
yeah,
why put it on the semi-limited list?
Well,
that's what confuses me about Monstergate. Like, what's going on? What are we not seeing with that? Why is it here?
Yeah,
it's whatever.
So now we get to move on to the big news about this list.
Big news.
The big news.
I was going to save it for last, but go ahead.
Well, no, I'm just saying the big news is in this part of the list. I would say we're going to talk about it first. So Danger Nessie, no longer on the list, was semi-limited. Nice.
Phantom Knights.
Yeah, Phantom Knights are going to
be the one the main deck that uses it.
Mm-hmm.
Skulker Brat Joker, everybody and their dog was projecting that one was going to come off because it was semi-limited before. Red Eyes Darkness Metal, now that it's had its errata, there's no need to talk about it. It can't be used multiple times in a turn.
I think you even mentioned that in our predictions video.
Yeah.
Go check it out now. Standby Phase on YouTube.
Smash the like button. No. Emergency Teleport. Everybody predicted that too. We knew it was getting reprinted in this set. The Punk Archetype. Regeki, nobody talked about that.
What the hell, dude? These last 2, what is Konami thinking?
Does this mean Harpy's Feather Duster's coming off the list too?
I don't know. Why?
It's not going to see play either. It won't.
What? I will.
You'll use it. Okay.
I'm one of those that I hate the card when it's used against me, but I love using it. Mystic Mind, perfect example.
Yeah, and Lightning Storm has more versatility. The only drawback is you can't control any face-up cards to use Lightning Storm. Darkhold is unlimited now. Nobody plays it. Nobody's going to play Regate. There might be a few here and there, but I don't think you're going to see very much.
I think there's going to be more than you think, though, man. I mean, it's a 3-of that can just wipe an opponent's board.
Yes, unless they have an Omni Negate on field.
But yeah, also
But it's not once per turn, so if you open 2 in your hand,
you could.
It's you have Warlord Savage, Regeki. Oh, negate, cool. Regeki again.
Exactly, and I think that's the thing that is going to make it as big as it will be, is that it isn't once per turn.
Yeah.
If it said once, like if it got an errata and said it's only once per turn, not going to be a big deal. There's enough Omni Negates and traps and whatever to get rid of it. But the fact that it could just be used multiple times in a row without any cost or repercussions.
I have seen it in a few lists, but it's like I said before. I think the day the ban list comes out is kind of overreactions. Everybody wants to test it out, and it'll probably phase out. We'll see. Here's the big one. I think this is a gigantic slap to the face of everyone that wanted IO banned.
Listen, you want IO banned? Okay, skill drain in 3.
Dude. So this one caught me off guard. It's unlimited in OCG and it's unlimited in Master Duel, but obviously those formats are way different than ours. So I think Eldritch best deck, right? Trap Eldritch.
I think Jared's just saying that because he already has everything built for it. He's like, all right, I'm going to find my skill drain, slap him in there.
If Drytron don't work out, then I already play Eldritch too. So.
Which by the way, skill drain's stupid expensive right now. We were talking about it at lunch whenever the list came out. I was like, if you go to TCG Player, it's 40 minimum, and all the others are like close to 100, if not more.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, it's on eBay for $30. I was like, you better get it now. He's like, already did.
Yeah, dude. When I went to get it, I went through 3 different sellers that were selling them at $30, and they were sold out. As I was clicking to buy it.
Oh, dang.
Luckily, I got one though. I got it. So they're not at $30 anymore. I think all that's left is like 40s and up. So I'm glad I got it when I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, that one's like borderline insulting. Like I said, everyone that gripe. Why did everybody gripe at Imperial Order? Why do you think?
Oh, you couldn't play. You couldn't play your spells.
Exactly. What do you think gets used more? Spell effects or monster effects?
Monster effects?
It's obvious. Yeah, it's definitely monster effects. Everybody wanted IO ban, and I get it. Like, it could just shut you down if you don't have, a Cosmic Cyclone in your hand when it's activated or whatever. You're just kind of out of luck. With Drytron, it was forcing me to play Nightmare Phoenix in my extra deck, which actually clogged up my extra deck. It's very tight in Drytron. So, but I played it anyways, just in case I ran into it.
Yeah.
On top of that, I also had a main deck out to it. So I wasn't too worried about it. This is worse, especially if I can Nightmare Phoenix my way out of... No, I can't. Monster effects. So now I'm forced to run Cosmic Cyclone, Twin Twister, Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storm. I'm forced to do that now. I didn't have to before.
I'm going through all my stuff and making sure I got 3 of everything.
Yeah, so this is way worse.
That's why I'm getting all the back row destruction I can right now because, oh my god, dude, this is nuts.
Trap Eldritch is already one of the top decks in, if not the most popular deck in Master Duel now.
It's one of the top ones. Yeah.
And there's a lot more crap that's unlimited in Master Duel than there is TCG. So it's probably gonna be more trap eldritch than anything else.
Mhm.
If it's not, the quote unquote best deck, strongest deck, it's gonna be the majority. It's gonna be in the majority.
Yeah. On the plus side, Maxi is still banned.
Thank God. Thank God. Yeah.
See, because at first I thought that was gonna be the one that Konami was like, okay, everyone's complaining about it, let's take it off.
That's what I was afraid of. There were so many people that it's like it needs to come off, that they were just going to give in, which I firmly believe that's why IO is banned, is because so many people complained about it. Yeah, I'm so relieved that we don't have to deal with that at locals too, because
I just need to get rid of it on Master Duel.
yeah, which probably won't happen.
Yeah.
But
wasn't there one last rant you wanted to get off your chest before we wrap this up?
yes, but I'm saving that for another video.
Oh, you're gonna save it for a different video?
Yeah, that's going to be its own topic. I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, okay.
We're going to save it.
So he's surprising me with this. I guess we're gonna have a separate video all about this one particular card, and it's
two specifically, two particular cards.
It's probably gonna get 0 views because this argument has been run into the dirt.
No, this is going to be different. You'll see.
Okay.
So I've got some final thoughts. We kind of touched base on this. I think with the adventure engine now out,
Brave tokens for those who don't know.
Yeah, they know. Phantom Knights is probably the quote unquote best deck right now.
Yeah.
Or at least it's probably got the highest ceiling that it can get to now.
Mm-hmm.
With the hit to Drytron, it's probably a tier 2 deck moving forward. Trap Eldritch is probably moved up into tier 1 now. We'll see about this Tri-Brigade Lunalight stuff that I've been seeing all day today. And Konami, what are you thinking with that leaving Scythe? Why?
I don't know, man.
Why? So,
needless to say, this ban list was crazy. Like, I don't know if you can call it good. I don't know if you can call it bad. It was just crazy.
It had some good and it had some bad in it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this ban list is very much a clickbait ban list.
It really is. It's like, boss, they're griping. Just throw something out there, dude. Ban IO. They'll be happy. Like, that's probably how it went. You still want Skill Drain to be off the list, though? Yeah. I want to play Eldritch at my locals.
Okay,
yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
Next time you want to yell like that, pull back from the mic.
I'm sorry.
Golly. But all right, guys. Well, with that being said, I think we're going to wrap this up. I think we've complained enough, and I'm sure we'll still be complaining tonight when we get online playing Master Duel.
I just hope that, in closing, I hope that TCG is not going to take steps towards the OCG's ban list, because I really hate Maxi, man. I really do. Dude, I've ranted about this enough, but I like the TCG format over the OCG, so I just want them to stay separate. My personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess OCG does have Colossus unbanned, or it's limited to one. So maybe I'll change my mind on that one. We'll see.
All right, guys. Well, with that being said, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Standby Fades on both.
Yep.
And we'll see you next time.
Peace out.